Hi. Okay, we're back. This is part two of the video series on why people fail when they make New Year's resolutions. And we were just beginning to scratch a new surface, and this is an important one. Okay, so I want you to think about this and tell me if I'm wrong here. I was kind of just whetting your appetite just a little bit a moment ago about something you've used in your past that's been very effective for you. And it's simply this. When you were around the high school age, you got your driver's license, didn't you? Most likely. Now, when you get your driver's license, as you know, it's a scary thing. I mean, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. And the fear is very reality-based. Driving a car is dangerous. You know that. You knew it then, you know it now. Many times, people, unfortunately, get killed in car accidents, and many more people get injured every year in car accidents. And I don't know if it's the vast majority, but a lot of the times, it's young people that these terrible tragedies happen to, correct? So, I mean, you knew that then, in the back of your mind somewhere. You know it now, of course. You can't help but agree with me on this. And yet, with that up against you, you went and gave your best shot and got your license. Now, it's even worse than that if you stop and think about it, because not only did you have the fear of getting hurt or, hurting yourself or hurting somebody else or what have you, but you didn't know how to drive. I mean, sure, okay, if you steer the wheel this way, it's going to turn that way. You step on the gas, it's going to go forward, and you step on the brake, it's going to stop. I mean, the basics, you know that, of course, but you've never done it before. You could probably figure out how to operate a large crane, too, by looking at the little pictures they have on the levers, up and down, left and right, but I wouldn't want to operate one without being told how to do it first. And driving a car is no different in that sense. I mean, it's just as dangerous. So, you not only had the fear factor in front of you, but you're stepping into a position or a situation that you really don't know an awful lot about, correct? Added to that is the peer pressure factor that at that time in your life is very large, isn't it? I mean, peer pressure at high school age is very large. And what peer pressure did you feel? Well, a number of things. A, all your friends are either getting their license at that same time period or they have it. So, you have to belong to the group, of course, or you think you do anyways. And then you never know, but there's people secretly evaluating you. If two of your friends or just two people you don't even know, but two people are sitting in the back seat while you're in the front seat with your instructor taking your first driving lessons, they're evaluating you. You don't want to hit the curb. You don't want to hit the parked car or the pole or blow through stop signs and things like that. I mean, you don't want to get yelled at, get back on this side of the road. I mean, all these things, stepping on the gas too hard or stepping on the brake too hard. All these things are up against you, all of them. And yet, with all of that, you went and got your license. Why? Why did that happen for you? How did you pull that off? Well, it's very simple. You wanted it really badly, right? You were willing to, you had these very real obstacles in front of you. Very real. Probably the toughest you're going to feel in most of your life anyways. And you blew right through it and did it. You didn't let them stop you at all because you wanted to. Why did you want to? Well, getting your license is kind of a rite of passage at that age, isn't it? From the time you're, 10, 12, however old you are, there's two major goals a kid has at that age. The first is to drive their parents crazy, and I know that because I'm a parent. And the second one is to become an adult. And when you get your driver's license, that's a huge step in joining adulthood, isn't it? Sure. So what tactics did you use? What did you use back then, without even knowing that you did it, to have it happen? Well, you used affirmation, that's for sure. You sat in that passenger seat for how many years, who knows how long, saying, I really want my license. I can't stand being dependent on people. I don't like Mom driving me to school in the morning. Mom, can you bring me to the side door so I don't have to be embarrassed by my friends? You had these thoughts in your heads like that. And then you created various visualizations. That's what my industry calls it. But they're fantasies, they're daydreams. You use whatever term you want. And what were you daydreaming about? Were you daydreaming about going to the mailbox and opening up your very first car insurance bill at 17 years old? I don't think so. No, you were dreaming about having fun, right? You were going to go out on the roads, and you were going to have a blast with all your friends. You were going to go here, you were going to go there, be great adventures. You were going to the beach, or to the lake. You were going to the movies. You were going to the dance clubs. You were going to the dances at school, your girlfriend's house, your boyfriend's house, hang out with your friends, right? Absolutely. And what were you feeling? You were not only feeling pleasure, but you were feeling hope, weren't you? Sure, the hope of your independence. Because you wanted to be more adult-like, right? You wanted to be able to not just drive across town to get a new part-time job instead of being stuck working around your neighborhood doing odd jobs or whatever you were doing at the time, babysitting or raking yards, who knows what. But you know what I'm saying? Now you can go across the town and get a part-time job and drive yourself there and not have to worry about other people driving you. Or you could drive out of state in a year or so when you graduate high school and go to college. Or you could drive across country on this great adventure. The world was your oyster, so to speak. You had all this hope, right? And the last thing you felt, most likely, almost definitely, was that you wanted to become an adult. You wanted to join this new group of people called adults, a group that you've been fighting to get into for years. Of course, after you get here, you realize it's not a great gig all the time, but you know, that's a topic for another day. But anyways, those are the three things you were feeling: pleasure, hope, and belonging. And those three are what behaviorists call your three core motivators. When you stick those in the middle of a daydream, boy, does it turn up the effectiveness of whatever it is you want to accomplish. And you did it back then, almost guaranteed, and you can do it now. And as your life coach, I could show you that. Now, I'm showing you that you've done it, but I could show you how you could do it again. And I could show you how you could take that very basic, easy daydream you did and turn up the effectiveness of it even 2 or 3 more notches till the point where it's almost through the roof, and really, really effective way of motivating you and making you not only just want your dream, but expect it. Because that's what happened, isn't it? When you got your driver's license, you played out successful scenarios in your head of you already having your license and doing these great adventures long before you got behind the wheel of the car. So, do it again. You see, why reinvent the wheel? I don't believe in overcomplicating it. Why make it harder on yourself? Why take somebody else's technique that may or may not work out of a book, for example, and you have to try to fine-tune that into your life now. And there's no reason to go that route if you don't have to. Let's try this first, and if this doesn't work, then we can look in other directions, of course. But let's give this its fair shake first, because hey, we know it's done. We know you've done it before. You see. See, this is all part of the routine for success that I've been talking about. You want to develop these better habits, ways of positive thinking, ways of being more effective with the way that you attack things, what have you. This is what makes success. And Aristotle said it back then, and it's very true today. Successful people have successful results. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying excellence is a habit, but it's the same thing. You're making habits for yourself. You're making good habits. And you can't underestimate these things. You can't underestimate habits at all. Now, the reality is this. If you're a smoker or an ex-smoker, you know exactly where I'm going with this. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. You can always ask somebody. You probably know yourself. But smoking is a habit, isn't it? Sure, it's an addiction. Absolutely. Nicotine's a very addictive drug. But it's also a very bad habit. And it wraps itself around various things you do in your day. People that smoke always say the same things. I always have my first cigarette when, fill in the blanks. When I first wake up, my first cup of coffee in the morning, when I'm first going out the door in the morning, when I'm first driving to work in the morning. I mean, there's always a routine that they create then. And there's other routines through smoking that they have throughout the day that have nothing to do with addiction and everything to do with a habit. You see? So we can create better habits for you, much better habits, thankfully, and make them just as effective and make you want them to happen just as much as the smoker wants to have a cigarette at 10:20 in the morning because that's break time at work. You see? This isn't rocket science, folks. It really isn't. But when you have a coach by your side, there's somebody there to help you figure these things out. Okay? And you don't have to become one of the 88%. It's not necessary. Your life and your happiness, and in some cases your health, are certainly worth it. And when I say health, think about it. people make New Year's resolutions, oftentimes health related, don't they? I want to lose weight. I want to go to the gym more often. I want to exercise more. Take the stairwell instead of the elevator. I have to cut the cholesterol in my diet. I need to change my diet, right? I need to quit smoking. I need to quit drinking. These are all various resolutions people make, aren't they? They also make resolutions about their education. I want to get a better education. I want to get my master's or even my PhD. Or it could be job related. I want to get that promotion at work, or I want to get a different job or a better job, or maybe even start my own business, a goal or dream I've had for years. All of these things that people resolve to do are very important. And they shouldn't have to fail, and neither should you. And again, it doesn't matter if it's December 31st or August 6th. It doesn't matter. Okay? All right. I think we pretty much talked the topic out now. I think you're beginning to understand what is involved. There's a process that you have to go through. And you have to have a good level head on your shoulders. And you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing by your side. And that's what we're about today. Okay? Before I say goodbye, there's two little quick things I want to talk about very, very briefly. The first is that if you read my site here, you see that there's rates that I charge for coaching. And if for whatever reason, and it's none of my business, but for whatever reason you can't afford the full price, don't let that stop you. Shoot me an email or, give me a phone call. I even do pro bono coaching. Don't worry about it. There was a point in my life, look at the internet site, when I first had my disability. I was financially destitute. I know what it's like. Lots of people helped me back then. Lots, believe me. I didn't do this on my own. Maybe if I gave that impression, I'm sorry. That's not the case at all. Lots of people helped me, and I'm forever grateful for them. This is my chance to give something back. So if that's the case for you, and you can't afford it, don't let that be a barrier for you. Give me a call. If I have the time available, I will be glad to help you. Okay? Seriously. And I won't judge you, or I wouldn't judge you anyways, but I certainly wouldn't judge you for that. All right? That's the first thing. And the second thing I just want to say is thanks, everyone, for all the nice things you've been saying. I got a few comments, emails, and things like that. Few phone messages. And it feels good. It feels good to know that people are listening. And I'm touching a few lives. Okay, so my name's Ed Walsh. Thanks for stopping in today. And I hope you have a fantastic day, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.